Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stamping event. My name is Sarah Simon. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Appleton, Wisconsin. I think I'm live. I hope I'm live. I am not coming up yet on my side here. Let me just refresh my iPad. And it shows me that I have viewers, so I must be live. Hello, everyone. Let me tell you, the last hour has been crazy here. So I normally get out of work at 4 o'clock. I thought it's summer. I'm going to go in a little bit early and see if I can get out a little bit early because I still had to design a card. Well, you know how that goes. I got home at 4:25 and I had so much to do. I had to get Lila out. I had a whole bunch of things to do. Finally, at about maybe 5:15, I started planning my card, which I had in my head, but it didn't come together the way I thought. So thank you all for being here with me today. Hopefully you like what I came up with, though. Hello, Julie and Joan and Amanda and Dee and Mary and Michelle and Melanie and Sandy and Linda. Thank you all for joining me. We are doing masculine cards tonight, so I'm excited about that. Design with us. Yeah, it's gonna be designing on the fly a little bit. What does it say? Okay, that's something else. I'm sorry. I have some prizes to give away. I have some happy mail today. And I have a couple of things. Oh, I didn't bring everything in. Maybe I'll share that next week. I was going to share some of the things that we did for the shower, but I don't have the little clipboards that I made in here. They're in my car. And so I'll maybe do that next week. So happy mail. Look at this cute card that I got from Tammy Markwart. And with it, she had, and the tie comes like this. It was tied over here. With it, she had a bag of Vanderwall caramels. Vanderwall is a really nice candy store here that she works at, and she had some caramels in there. They're gone. So look at this when you open this up. What? Isn't that gorgeous? So it's kind of like an explosion card, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I think she was thanking me for a prize. Yes, she was. And then I received this beautiful card. Look at that. That's that Hearts and Hugs stamp set. This, she said, was cased by Rhonda Wade. And I actually bought Rhonda's retreat. And this was one of the cards in the retreat. And she was just saying I was kind and generous. I had gifted her some of the shimmer gems that are on there. And you can see those. And then this is one of our, I believe that this is a kit. I don't think that this was a paper pumpkin. I'm pretty sure this was a kit. I received this from Cindy Winkleman for my birthday. She gave me this planter, this holder. It's a wooden dog, which is absolutely adorable. And then there's like a little bench that you can put a plant on. And then she also gave me this mat, which I had never seen before. But it's silicone, so it will, when you want to do some of your masking with your blending, you can put it down in this corner and line things up. And then it also holds it in place because it's kind of sticky. So it's called a mini stencil mat, and I had never seen it before. And she gifted me with that. So thank you very much. I'm going to set these. Oh, I don't know where I'm going to set them. I have such a mess here right now. It's unbelievable. I am getting ready for a used stamp sale. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Amanda and Cheryl and Mary Stamps and Sarah Markwart. And I think Kay, I didn't say hello to you before. I am having a used stamp sale at my house on Wednesday. Because I'm leaving on Thursday to go to Minneapolis for a wedding. And then I'm going to hustle home on Saturday after that wedding to try to help close up the used stamp sale that my friend Kathy Miller, most of you know her, she's having a bigger sale with more demonstrators. I just open up for my customer ahead of time at my house. So I have that on Wednesday. And let's just say I have a lot to do before that. I have so much label and package and everything else, but it will be ready even if I don't get any sleep. And my mom's on here. She's saying, no, you're getting some sleep. I'll come over and help. But anyway, yes, I will have a used stamp sale. And I think I have a graphic here. Let me see. I think from last time, I don't have any of my dimensions up today because I ran out of time. Let's see. I thought I had here it is. Here it is at my house on Wednesday, June 5th from 5:30 until 7 o'clock. And on Saturday, June 8th, the address for the sale is right there in Sherwood, Wisconsin from 8 until 3. Okay, so that is the used stamp sale. And there will be lots and lots of things for sale and really good prices on them as well. So if you didn't get things before they went away, this is a great place for you to be able to get them. I also wanted to let you know that Stampin' Up! Is starting a new sale for the month of June, beginning on Wednesday of this week. Bundles, so anything that's sold as a bundle. So the Adventurous Sky that we're going to be using tonight is sold as a bundle. When you buy it as a bundle in the catalog, you get 10% off. You get another 10% off beginning on Wednesday and going through the end of June. Now, this is only bundles that have dies. It does not include the punch bundles. So if you are looking at one of the punch bundles, that's not included. Also, we're using the Trusty tools today too. That's no longer available as a bundle. Okay, you have to buy them individually. So something like that doesn't have a bundled price right now. So it is all regular price. So it's just the things that you can get as a bundled price. Then on top of that, they also have, if you are in the market for a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, either the mini or the large, they are also 10% off starting on Wednesday, going through the end of the month. So great deals going on. All right, let's get to some prizes. I quickly picked prizes before I went on here. That was the last thing I did. So last week, we made this simple card with one of the layouts that we had in the catalog. And we also made this card where I featured using something that was older, the hot air balloon, with something that was new, the field of flowers. And so receiving these cards, because they commented last week, is Marla Reichman. So Marla, I will get these off in the mail to you. And then for sharing, so if you hit share and you share my video anywhere on social media, hello Betty, and hello Kay, and Joan. I don't think I said hello to you, Joan. And Karen Karst. You also get put into a drawing, and receiving a pack of these purple fine shimmer gems is Shanna Roberts. So Shanna, I will be getting these off in the mail to you. And then anytime you place an order, this week we had only one person place an order. So she probably knows who she is, who's winning this right now. Winning this stamp set, Grateful Blessings, which I love this stamp set. I think I might use this one next week, is Amanda Shabo. So Amanda, congratulations. I will get this off to you. So if you are placing an order, even with that sale, and your order is under $150, I would love it if you would enter my host code, because then I receive the hostess dollars to be able to get all of these prizes that I give away, except for the ones that I make. If your order is over $150, then you do not want to put that host code in, because then you will get the hostess benefits, and I don't want to take that away from you. So, all right, I think we are ready to start stamping. Let me see here. I got to do this and this and that and turn my overhead light off. All right. I think I'm crooked, but I think it's more my mat is crooked. I don't know how it got crooked, but it is a little bit crooked. And I'm a little bit darker tonight than usual. Let me see. I'm missing a light. There we go. All right. We are going to, for our first card, again, I said we're making masculine cards. Actually, you know what? My camera is a little crooked here. There we go. Let me tighten that up a little bit. I probably bumped it in my rush to get ready. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. We are going to be using Adventurous Sky, which is definitely, in my opinion, a masculine card. However, I did have, I think it was Debbie or Cindy, one of my customers, who said to me that she had a niece, I think, a niece and a nephew that are really, really big into airplanes. So she could not wait to be, I think it was Cindy Winkleman, couldn't wait to make some cards with this. So for our card that we're going to make today, we're actually going to do Father's Day because that's coming up so soon. Hello, Marva. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be using products from this entire suite. So this is the designer paper. There's this mapped type paper. And then I love that blue. I use that on a card. I'll show you some of my other samples that I have besides the card that I'm making today. We've got this clouds. And we have these gray. We've got these plains. That's kind of on like a graph paper. And on the back of this is this Cajun Craze plaid. We're going to be using a little bit of this today. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of a mix of grays. And on the back of that, we have Mossy Meadow with a whole bunch of plains. Then look at this cool blue design. Isn't that awesome? This could almost even be, you could almost use that for water and use it with the Gone Fishing. Hi, Sarah Mitchell. Then we have also these plains that have some Cajun Craze and Night of Navy in them. And then there's this piece. And then on the back is more maps. We're going to use some of the elements from this piece. So I'm going to show you how to cut this. And I'm going to be honest, this was the card that I already had done. So I think that's why I was stressing a little bit about the one that I had to make, because I really didn't design this one. I always like to look to the catalog. So last time we looked at page 22 and we took one of the layouts that they had in the catalog. It wasn't a card that was on here anywhere, but we definitely looked at one of the layouts. And tonight, what I wanted to do was I wanted to look at one of the cards. This card caught my eye when I was looking through the catalog at this suite. I loved the tag and I thought that was really cool. I loved that there were 3 different really varieties of colors that were in there. And it just looked really cool to me. And so this is the card that we're actually going to make tonight to show you how to put those dies together, how to cut out those elements that are in that one sheet of paper. And we're basically going to make this card. I think I didn't change it much at all. All right, I'm going to put my catalog aside for right now. And I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in here. Oh, and there goes the paper that I was just showing you. All right. And each one of these is 4 inches. So we're going to use this tag that's down in the bottom left here. And I'm going to use this paper that's in the upper right. So I'm going to start by putting this in my paper trimmer at 4 inches. If I put that in 4 inches, and you can kind of see there's the line in the track and the line in the track. And I'm just going to go up and I'm going to cut that. Okay. There are 6 of these little tags. I'm going to cut them at 2 inches because each one of these is 2 inches wide. And I'm going to use this very first one so I could keep this sheet together for now. Again, if I cut at 4 inches, I'm not using anything in this. I'm not using anything in here for my card that I have today, but I very well could have used this. Okay, you've got the stuff on the back as well. And then these 2 are 3 inches and that one is 6 inches. So I'm going to go over 3 inches. And you don't have to memorize that. You can just kind of line it up and figure out what it is. So I'm going to be using these 2 pieces along with the other things that I have cut. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. I think I need it for my next card too. And let's bring out the other elements. And again, I'm really, really sorry. I do not have the dimensions typed up What I will do is I'll put together a sheet and I'll post the dimensions with the pictures so that you have them afterwards, because I just could not get it done before I went live. All right, so what I have is a mossy meadow piece of card. This is my card base. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So it's going to be one that opens up on the top. This piece of designer paper is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's going to cover the entire front. I'm not going to have any sort of an edge. That's kind of how the card was in there. Now, if you want to be able to get more out of your paper, then by all means, cut it at 4 by 5 1/4 so that you can get more of them out of one sheet of paper. That will leave you with a little bit of an edge here. I wanted to make it just like the card that was on the in the catalog, and so that one was actually 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of my card. And then I used that one paper that I said we're going to use this designer paper because it looked like that's what they used in the catalog. I wouldn't have even thought to use the designer paper to cut out this part of the airplane, but they did, and it kind of looks cool to have like all that little like dimension and like some of that etching or whatever on there. And then this one is in, whoops, and I have a little bit in here. This is Pebble Path. I'm not sure if they had basic gray or if they had Pebble Path on there, but I liked how the Pebble Path looked with our Cajun Craze. So I picked Pebble Path. The dies, you can cut out the little prop, I think that is. You can cut that out with, they could give you 2 of them, and I did Night of Navy. And then this is the second from the smallest, Stylish Shapes, the square piece. So you can kind of see there's stitching at the top of that. All right, that is all we need for pieces. What I'm going to do is just take my paper snips and I'm going to go across where this is right here. You could use your paper trimmer if you wanted to, but for me, it was just as easy to take my paper snips and just cut those little corners off. Then I have a punch here, and I'm just going to punch a hole. If you do not have a punch, you could always use take your pick tool with a pointy piece at the end of it, and you could punch the hole that way. We're just going to be putting some linen thread through this, so it doesn't have to be really wide. Okay, so we just want a hole in there. All right, let's go ahead and do some stamping on these 2 things before we go and put this together. This card's going to be really quick and easy, but I liked how it looked also. All right, so we've got some Night of Navy, and I have some Mossy Meadow as well to go with the front of the card. And I'm going to, because I did that prop in Night of Navy, they did Night of Navy with their greeting. So I'm going to stand up and try to look over the top of my camera with the Happiest Father's Day. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to use the You're the Best plain, Plane, and simple. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and take some of that green, that Mossy Meadow designer paper, put that across the bottom. But they had this cute little plane in here with the stamps, and I decided I wanted to just stamp that in the bottom corner. You could also come and put one up here or put one up here. You could put a couple of them on there, whatever you want to do. It depends on how much space you want to have to write and how much you want to fill with your stamp, right? Now, I wanted to point out that this stamp set, they do have dies that are clouds, and they do punch out the stamp that's the cloud, But you could also take this You're the Best Plain and Simple, and you could stamp that right inside of that cloud. In this little cloud, you could put this one that says, you always lift me up. So you can use those almost as a label if you wanted to in some of these. I also wanted to point out that it does have a little banner here. The happy birthday looks really good in this, but it has this little pointed tip so that if you wanted to add some string, like the plane had a sign behind it, you could do that as well. Kind of fun stuff, kind of fun dies. All right, I don't have all my stickers on yet because I haven't used all of the stamps yet in this. Used most of them. All right, now to put this together. So this is going to be the inside of our card. So I'm going to go ahead. Whoops, that one's out. I got to fill that one. I'll throw some Stamp and Seal on there and line that up. Okay, and then for this one, because you're trying to line this up and you want to make sure you get it straight and that it's not like hanging off the edge or that you don't have anything hanging out, I like to use liquid glue when I have to possibly wiggle things around a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue on this one. I think I messed my bottles up before. I was like, where did my brand new bottle go? And so I just had one sitting there and I grabbed it, but I think this is an old one because this one's almost out of glue. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and stand this up. So I'm going right up to that edge. And I just want to make sure I'm going, that I cover the edges. Okay, and if you want, you can look here, and if there's anything that's hanging on the edge, you could go ahead and trim that off on the sides or at the bottom. But I did a pretty good job of cutting that at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because it fit pretty good. All right, next I'm going to layer on this piece of blue. This looks like it's balmy blue, I think. I don't have the colors here. I'm pretty sure it was balmy blue and not boho blue, but I could be wrong. I can look it up before. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that towards the left side. I might have it up a little bit higher than I did on my other one. This is going to go over to the right a little bit of that. Now, before I put this down, I do want to put my linen thread through that hole. And I don't want to tie a bow because it's for a guy, right? You could tie a bow, but I decided I didn't want to tie a bow. And what it looked like they did was they took the linen thread and they put it through, they doubled it up and put it through. And then it looked like they came and tied this up here at the top. Okay, and I want to get a little bit, I want this to be a little bit shorter, so I'm going to go ahead and pull in a little bit more. I don't want it hanging off my card, so I want to have it so that when it gets put here, I can like put a little glue dot over there somewhere and it'll stay. So I think this is good. So I'm going to tie this in a knot. And then I'm going to trim this off. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to tie this in a knot. And this is how I'm going to be able to attach this to the paper to kind of keep it in place. I'm going to put a little glue dot there once I have my tag on. The tag, I'm going to pop up on some dimensionals. So we're going to pop these up. Yeah, so I had done this one and I'm like, okay, that was one that I got from the catalog, but I'm showing them how to do it. So I need to up the second card a little bit and it has to be creative. And what I had in mind just didn't come together. So then I'm like, come on, creative juices, you got to start flowing. It's almost time for me to go live and I still have to design this card. And then it finally kind of came to me. So I did still use the fold that I was looking at. I just changed it up a little bit. So I'm going to just take a glue dot. I might have had it a little bit longer on my other one, but that's all right. Where my take your pick tool went. It's sitting here somewhere. I have such, like I said, I have such a mess trying to get ready for this sale, trying to finish up the school year, having stuff that I had out for the shower, making a card for the shower and other things. So I'm just going to set that so it kind of lays there the way where I want it to be. All right. Then for our plane, we're going to put the part that has more things cut out is going to go over the top of that plane. So it looks like that. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of glue. This is my newer glue. Nope, it's not because there's some hard stuff on there. I don't know what I did with, I was using it. There we go. That's a little bit better. And come on. Okay. Don't have a lot on there, but you don't really need a lot. I'm going to line up the wheels. I'm going to line up kind of like the nose of the plane. And then I'm going to line up this back piece right here. There's like a little, like that lines up perfectly with that. Okay, so that goes right over the top. And then our little, is this a little prop? I think that's what that's called. I don't know. I'm not a plane person, but I do have a nephew. When I saw this stamp set, I had to get it. I have a nephew who is going to be a senior at the University of Minnesota, and he's in aerospace engineering. Oh, he's super smart. Smarter than me, that's for sure. But this is just going to set right in there like so. And then this is higher, so I'm going to put some glue on this side and I'm going to put some dimensionals on that side so that it's level. So this is going to be glued to this, and then the dimensionals are going to go on the back. And I had dimensionals. There we go. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals there. And I think I'm just going to take this and add a little bit of that glue there. Okay, so there's our little plane on there. And that tag looks so cool, right? And then we're going to tuck this Happy Father's Day. We're going to do kind of the same thing where we're going to go a little bit on the tag and a little bit on here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a dimensional in here. And I think I'm going to put one right in the lower left corner. And then I'm going to put a strip of regular glue for the part that's going to be on the tag right there. And I'm going to pop this underneath there. Whoops, I want to go all the way under the plane. Go a little bit further. I got to put a little bit more glue on here. There we go. That plane is coming up. We need some more glue. Let me see here. Oh, now I got too much. There we go. That'll work. Even that one little spot will hold it down better for the whole thing if it's connected a little better. Then we have our little industrial trinkets. This I don't think was on the one in the book, but I always have to add a little something. And I thought I would put it like right kind of down there in the corner of that greeting. So there is our first card that we got right from the catalog using those tags that come right in the paper. This is a little layer that came right in the paper, and then another layer for the background. And then on the inside, you're the best, plain and simple. All right, let's look at some other cards that I got with this. Let me pull these out here. Here they are. Whoops. Someone's here. My dad. Looks like my dad is here. I'm sorry, Lila's going nuts because she sees somebody pulled into the driveway. So this is a little spinner card. I think that's my dad. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Nobody rang the doorbell. So this is a little spinner card. So it has a little penny that has some dimensionals between it to make it move like that. Okay, and spin. And this is in pumpkin pie along with our peach pie. So we got the pies featured there. This was created by, I had it right here, Layla Mankey. It was for a swap that I was in with Carol Norquist. Here's another card. And I don't think I have the name of the person because I took this one out. So this uses the background stamp that's in that stamp set. And then it uses some of the designer paper for the outline of the airplane. And then we've got the clouds. This is like a little speech bubble. I think this is actually the bee, the body of the bee, which makes it kind of look like a speech bubble. And then they made what looks like a little suitcase. And they used two of the things. I probably should have used two of them. Why did I only use one? It probably should have two. It looks better with the two. This one only has one as well. I think I like it better with the two. What do you think? I might have to add another one. And then these are some of the new, they're glitter like gems. They're really, really flat. Like they lay flat on your thing. It's not a sequins. There's really glitter in there, but very cute card. And then has some paper on the inside. And then I did get this in a swap, and then I used it for one of my card buffets. But this is a book fold card that has some of that paper with the clouds and Happiest Father's Day, again, in a little circle. Instead of using the die cuts, it stamped the image of the plane and put it up on some dimensionals. And then I designed this one for my card club. This looks like the book fold, but actually, it's that fold that we did for our creative challenge. So it opens up this way. And I think somebody else made a card that week. So if you go back and look on Facebook at that creative challenge, you should be able to find another card with, I think, this design with the plane as well. So a lot of different ideas of things that you could do with that Adventurous Sky stamp set. I think it's called Take to the Sky is the name of the bundle. So there we go. Oh, we didn't do anything with our envelope. Let's see here. Let me get a piece of that, one of the papers. Let's get some of that green paper. Let me cut a little piece off here. Like I said, I was not super overly prepared today for going live. Yesterday was crazy. We had the shower, which the shower was beautiful. I thought it turned out, we did lavender from the painted lavender stuff, and everybody commented how beautiful that was. And my mom purchased the flowers and from a local florist. She's called the Flower Girl, and she does such beautiful work. So they were just gorgeous. And my mom has such a good eye for decorating that she found a lot of the stuff that we used. We had like these wreaths and stuff on the doors when you came in, and it was all in lavender with some tulle ribbon and stuff, and just turned out really, really nice. I think that my niece felt like she was showered with a lot of love from the people that were there. So it was nice to be able to do that for her. But I'm also very glad that it's over. It's not something I want to do all the time. So there we go. I've got a matching envelope. We could have also stamped a little plain in the front if we wanted as well. All right, that's our card number 1. Let me get all of this stuff out of the way here. And I'm going to bring in my next set of things, which we've got some blue again going on here, but we're going to use the Trusty tools, because if you're the guy in your life just isn't into airplanes and you're thinking, not airplanes, but maybe they're into tools, or this design I think you could really use with the Gone Fishing too if they're more of a fisherman. Here's my that to get everything up off the floor. This is the one I just made, so I should remember how to do it, right? I just put it together, like finished about, how long have we been on here? 6 minutes, and it was probably about 10 minutes before we went on the air. So yeah, just about 16 minutes ago, I made this one. No, we've been on the air for 36 minutes. So 46 minutes ago. All right. So our Trusty tools have the dies. We're going to be using these. We are also going to be using some of the stamps, and we're going to be putting it into a unique fold. And we're going to be using some paper that you would have probably not thought masculine cards. Because what did you think of the country lace? Usually you wouldn't put lace on a male card, right? A masculine card. Well, it just so happens that in that country lace, we have this designer paper, which although it looks really lacy on this side, that sort of looks like denim, doesn't it? I thought it did. And I thought that could be masculine. There is also, whoops, you can't tell because I embossed this now, but this was some of our basic beige, and it had a whole bunch of lacy doily stuff. But on this side, it's kind of like a, it kind of looks like the same pattern as the denim, but it's in a gray. And I ran it through that metal plate embossing folder. Now that looks manly, doesn't it? Looks masculine, right? So we've got that going on. We're going to be using some Misty Moonlight cardstock. So this is, and again, I apologize if you hopped on late. I was really late getting on here, so I don't have all the dimensions. So I will put the dimensions on a little bit later. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4, but we're going to do something to this, but I wanted to cut that with you. We have, this is going to be a joy fold, but instead of like the joy fold that we did did we do that one last week or the week before? We did it the week before. So this was the joy fold that we did the week before. Okay, it opened up from the bottom. This joy fold is going to be a diagonal one. So this piece is 3 inches by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. Okay, so this ends up being 3 by 4 1/4 once it's folded. All right, I have some smoky slate because that was smoky slate. These pieces measure 2 3/4 by 4, and I have 2 of them. All right, what I cut ahead of time, I'm going to, I have some white here. There we go. We need a scrap of basic white as well. I did with Poppy Parade, I cut out from the dies, and it must still be on my die cutting machine. I cut out this thing that looks like this. This is going to be our toolbox. Okay. Then I also, in basic gray, I think I did it in basic gray. Yeah, I did do it in basic gray. I cut this out, and this is going to be the handle for our toolbox. Do you see it now? It's a little toolbox. Okay, we are going to stamp some of the tools to go into our toolbox. We're going to put a greeting on the outside of our toolbox. So we got a lot of things that we're going to do. We're going to do some of the 2-step stamping. We're also going to be doing a little bit of coloring in with blends. So let's go ahead and get our stamping done, and then I'll show you how to cut and put this card together. So we are going to use some Memento Black ink. And for the Memento Black, I'm going to stamp the outline of all of the tools that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use a pencil. I'm going to put that in my box. I'm going to use the hammer. So I'm going to stamp that. On the outside of my box, I'm going to set not yardstick, tape measure. Couldn't think of the name there for a second. And we're also going to put a wrench. Impressive that I know the names of these things, huh? Okay, then I'm going to use some Misty Moonlight, and I need to get a scrap of paper here. I'm just going to rip a piece of this paper off here. Like I said, I didn't come overly prepared. I've got a piece of scrap paper right here. I'm going to close this up for right now. And I'm going to color in, and I thought it was a little bit too dark. This is Misty Moonlight. I thought it was a little too dark to do it full strength, so I'm going to stamp off once. That's what I needed the scrap paper for. And I'm going to put that in there. It's a little bit off, but I have this done already. So I'm not going to redo it. It's hard when I'm afraid my head's going to go in the camera. I'm going to do that, and that's going to be the handle of my hammer. And then we've got a little bit longer one. That's going to be the handle of the wrench. Okay, and then where did my crushed curry ink go? I had it. I had it out here because I used it right before we went on. And I do not see it here. It should have been in the bucket with everything else. I don't think I put it away. I did not. But let's just grab Daffodil Delight, because I do not see it. Hard to believe that it could disappear when I just had it, but it's probably oh, I see it. I see it. Here it is. It was buried underneath the card that I just made and set over there. All right, so we have our fill for our pencil. Okay, and then we have dies to cut all of that out. So through the magic of TV, like I mentioned, I already did, I have our hammer and our tape measure and our wrench and our pencil all die cut out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some light smoky slate. This is my light smoky slate Stampin' Blend. And I'm just going to color in the top part of these tools with that light smoky slate. Now, you can, and I did, so my plan, when I was planning this card, I had a whole bunch of different ideas in mind to make it a gift card holder, and I had all these different things. Nothing was really coming together, but I was going to cut out the pieces where you cut the top part out in like silver and you attach it to the hammer. But I realized I didn't buy any of the silver paper, and I did not have any silver paper. So this is what I decided to do instead, was to stamp them, cut them out, and then just color in the parts that I wanted to with a Stampin' Blend marker. And I didn't do any blending with the darks and the lights. I just left it like that. And then I have a dark Daffodil Delight that will go ahead and color in that part. All right, so these are going to be the tools that I'm going to put inside my toolbox. And so let's bring that toolbox out. We're going to do some stamping on that, and we're also going to stamp something on the inside of our card. So on the outside, I really liked the saying that they had. Now you could do the Happy Father's Day fits on there, but I wanted to do as a birthday for this one. And I'm going to do, you're the most awesome. I'm just going to stamp that right in the center. I have a bigger block here than I need, so I should probably clean all that off before I stamp, but there we go. You're the most awesome. And then on the inside, I'm taking a greeting because there wasn't a happy birthday in there. So I'm taking a greeting from another one. Hello, Linda and Sonia and Patty and Sandy. I think I haven't said hello to you guys. So hello, thank you for joining me. And I'm going to do the happy birthday. It looked like I smeared that a little bit. Let me go a little bit. My ink is really juicy. I still got a little bit on the A. Oh, you know what? There's something on my A. Let me cut another piece. I'm going to be picky about that. Let me see if I can get some smoky slate. And of course, I don't have any left. So I'm going to have to open another pack here. But one of the things that you can do with your photopolymer stamps, and I always forget this, and Barb Mulligan is really good about telling people this, and I often forget. So this again is 4 by 2 3/4. You can take some tape and just take some Scotch tape and run it over your photopolymer stamps before you stamp with them. So if I clear this, there goes my, let me hit cancel. Okay, I think I'm still live. I hope I'm still live. My keyboard just fell off my, I've got a mess here. All right, so if we clean this, before you go to stamp with it, what she recommends is taking some Scotch tape and just going like this over your stamp so that if you were using some sort of a cleaner and something got stuck to it, like was just on, what letter was that? The A, that it gets pulled off on the tape so that you get a nice crisp image rather than having something like that on there. So that's much better. See that? Okay. We are done with our stamping. And now we have to do a little cutting to be able to put this together. So I'm going to get my paper trimmer and bring it back in here. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our card base. This is actually going to go this way, but I'm going to cut it from this corner to that corner. So I'm going to line in my track, the corner, and then I'm going to bring this around so that right where that crease is, where I ended up scoring it, that's in the other track. So that when I take my stamping, my cutting blade, it will cut that on a diagonal. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this denim looking paper. I'm going to put it in one corner and put it in the other corner. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to cut that in half. I didn't have it right in the corner, but I think we're going to be good. All right, we are ready to put this together. All right, we only need one of these, so I have enough for 2 cards. So this can be for my next card that I make. This is just going to set right inside there. And if it helps you to see where that is better, you could put the gray one down first so that you can see. Doesn't that look cool? Oh. So I started thinking I was going to make this a portrait, okay, card, which for the portrait card, it opens this way and then the flap opens up, but we're actually going to put it down actually this way. So it opens this way and opens up. So let's go ahead and attach all of this. All right, so we've got our diagonal piece. Oops. I just think that metal plate just adds so much. Now, if you even had some of the silver paper, you could really make it shine a little bit more. But I think even just having the little bit of the pattern that's in that paper, can you see where there's like, it looks kind of like the denim does here, where you've got some white and some little patterns in it, and then you do the embossing over it. It looks pretty cool. That was just by chance. It wasn't really planned that way. All of a sudden it was like, oh, I could do that. Okay, we don't need this and we don't need that. Okay, we are going to put this right in the center like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually I think I'm going to use some liquid glue so that it gets in between all of those little raised up embossed areas. Okay, so the glue with that liquid glue, it just kind of melds right in there. Okay, so that's going to go like that. We're going to turn it this way so we open it this way and that way to get into our card. All right, the happy birthday is going to go on the inside. Amanda, I love this fold too. I think it's so easy and it's something I always forget about for some reason. This must be the one I was just using. Okay, so we've got our happy birthday. All right, this is just going to go right on here with the gray or smoky slate. I just opened that up again where the one that I was just using was right here. Okay, and then I wanted it to look like my toolbox was kind of raised off the page a little bit. But I wanted to be able to still stick the tools inside of it. So what I did to accomplish that is I took our adhesive strips. Now these are twice as long, like it's a really long pack. I cut them in half so that I can store them in a Rubbermaid container. But all I'm going to do is pull off. These are perfect when you're making a shaker card. And this isn't a shaker card, but I wanted to just put this strip right across the side and across this side. And I thought it would work perfect. Instead of putting a whole bunch of dimensionals all over the place, I would just pop, whoops, I think I'm off the screen there almost. Okay, I would just go ahead and pop this right on there like that. The other reason I thought that this would be perfect is that the width of those are perfect for the handle of my tool box. Okay, so I can raise that up as well by using these strips. So I can go ahead and run a strip across here. It actually looks kind of good, even being not having it raised, but I ended up raising it when I did mine. So I'm going to just do it the same way. But I think it looked pretty cool just being glued down. Okay, got a little bit left. Don't want to waste it. So we'll pull these strips off, which sometimes I forget about these. You know, when you need a really tiny dimensional and then you're cutting them and stuff like that, why not just use these, right? I'm going to set these in here. Just like that. I have my little toolbox. I think it's even. I'm going to set this right on the outside like that. I thought that looked kind of cute like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in the center part. I think I covered up the one that's good now. Good Lord. There we go. All right, and then we're just going to kind of place our tools in our box. So my hammer, I ended up having to cut just a little bit off the bottom. And then I was able to stick it in there, and it's still going to hang. Whoops. Okay, it's still going to hang up there a little bit. And I have my wrench. That one I didn't have to cut it all, and I'm just going to set that right. Kind of put the glue towards the bottom so it looks like they're, you could put them on a dimensional if you wanted to, but I thought I'm just going to throw glue on the bottom and glue the bottom part. Just kind of let them overhang here a little bit. And then we have our pencil. Here it is. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of glue on the bottom of that too. Does anyone know which bottle of glue is the good one? I had two of them here. I'm going to actually, why don't I just put a glue dot? I don't even know where those went. There we go. There we are. You can kind of decide where you want them there. I think I'm going to put the pencil underneath the other things. So I've got a full little, you could put more tools in there if you wanted to, but you're the most awesome. And then it opens this way and it says happy birthday. Oh, just like that, we got it done. All right. So there is our second masculine card. And I don't think I have enough on here to do this. No, I do not. Let me grab a little piece of that. Well, we could stamp a tool on the front. But I'm just going to do, we'll just do this. Did I get it big enough? I did. Go like that. And I should have shown you, I should have had a couple of other folds. I've used this fold so many times that I know I have other cards with it. But I'm going to show you some more Trusty Tools cards. Probably if I had had more time to get ready, I might have thrown a couple more tools in there, but it looks pretty good. And we have our birthday card, and we have our Father's Day card ready to go for the men in our lives, right? Depending on what their interests are. And like I said, you could really make this, you could use the Gone Fishing if you wanted to and put something fishing along with this denim. I also have the pocket dies that are in the new catalog. And I thought about trying to make a pocket over the denim and making a gift card. That was kind of my first thought. And somehow having like a tool coming out of their back pocket. You know how guys can put a tool in their back pocket. I thought about doing that. That was like my first thought. Like when my mom said, do you have a thought in your head? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And I was thinking, I'm going to use that denim paper. I'm going to make a pocket. It's going to be a gift card holder. There's going to be a tool coming out of it as well. And nothing was coming together. So I think I just have to work on that one a little bit more to see if I can get it to come together. But I had the best intention of trying something with that and using this denim looking stuff and using the pockets, but it didn't quite materialize for me. All right, let me see. I don't know that we have any gems that would really go on there. I think we're good this way. Just leaving it the way that it is. And I'm going to go ahead and come back to you. Here I am. All right, I'm back. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will be live again. It'll be next week, Tuesday. I'll be back to Tuesdays. I just had something on my calendar for tomorrow that I could not get out of. So that's why I came on Monday instead. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you for your positive comments about the cards and stuff. I know masculine cards aren't always, oh, they're so fun or anything like that, because we're girls, right? We love flowers and stuff. But I think that some of the stamp sets that we have, the Gone Fishing, the Trusty tools, I was even going to try the Life is, I don't know what it's called, Loveliest Tree. It used to be Lovely as a Tree, and now it's Loveliest Tree. I think that would be nice for a masculine looking sympathy card. There's a sympathy greeting in there. And so I think just trying to find, there's the Grove dies that have a deer in it and stuff. So there's a lot of different things that you could even use some of these folds and put whatever the interest is of the person that you're making them for. So, all right, that's all I have for you. Now I have to go price some stuff for my sale. Thank you, Diane. Yeah, I loved the gray or the smoky slate along with that denim. I love that color. And I loved the Calypso coral and the blues and greens in the other one. And that was just whatever colors were in the paper. So, oh, I didn't show you my other Trusty tool cards, did I? I said I was going to do that. Let me see if I can find them. They got buried. I can show you. I was going to try to do the Gone Fishing, and I was trying to make a background for my piece. That didn't work. All right, so I have this one, and this has, this has a gift card holder in it. That's what this is. So it sits back there. All right, so this uses some of the paper. If you still have the Trusty Tools paper, it uses the cutout of the measuring. Why do I keep? I want to call it a yardstick. Tape measure. Good Lord. And then here we actually ended up using blends instead of the stamps to color those in. And then this uses some of the paper on the inside. All right. And then I received, this is from Jay Shante. Beautiful card. Look at that. That uses the postage, perennial postage, big die. And she cut out, look at these. These she cut right out from the designer paper. But you could also stamp those as well. And then she has the You're the Most Awesome on the inside. I had a whole bunch of other cards that I made from a Rhonda Wade class that I bought, but I couldn't find them. I might have given them away. And then this was a card that I received in a swap, and then we used it for a class. This has some vellum that has some white paper with the, what do you call that? The paint, what looks like the painting on the back. And then this is the perennial postage, or perennial, the perennial lavender paper. And then on the inside, there's this So those are some different sample cards that I had gotten in some swaps. Some of them still use the designer paper that came with the Trusty Tools, but that was a free paper. So maybe you have that and it'll give you some ideas. All right, that's all I have for today. Reminder that that special starts on Wednesday. If you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, there are also some new online exclusives coming out on Wednesday that have some Christmas stuff in them. I know it's only June, but Christmas will be here before we know it, right? Think of how fast May went. I feel like I blinked and May was over. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I will see you again next Tuesday. Have a good week. Bye bye.